Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Queer There Everywhere. My name is Glitzer Von Jagger. It's nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Today, on my sumptuous couch, on my fabulous sofa, I have the gorgeous Armand.
Hello.
Hello, my darling.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, my love. I've got so much I want to talk to you about. Um, let's start with your queer identity, your gay identity. What was it like coming out? When did you come out? What year?
Wow, it's, not often people ask me that question because it was for me like, I don't know, I never really had like a coming out because for me, I was always just like gay,
Yeah.
not having a word for it. But I really, if I have to go to say when I came out, it was in 1991. I was in the army.
You was in the army.
I was in the army.
What did you do in the army?
I was a lieutenant.
Was you?
Yes.
Stop.
And I worked for there was like a college where all these big brass people used to come to study at warfare. And at that stage, I was a translator.
Okay.
And I met a friend. And a friend. Wait. He used to come to where I used to work. And he was also a lieutenant. And then we got friendly and we started chatting with one another. And then he said to me, "Oh, I think you're gay." And I'm like, "What? Me gay?" And he said to me, "Oh, well, actually, I want to take you to a gay club." Oh my God. It was, I couldn't focus that whole day. I couldn't wait.
Uh-huh.
And in my head, I heard so many stories about gay men.
Yeah.
I heard that they, like fuck everywhere and they do things and was like, or just like a fantasy. True. I know that, but wait a little bit. That's not completely true. And then I thought, and it was like the whole day, got so excited about it, got dressed. I will never forget this polka dot shirt. Exactly.
Do you still have that?
No, I don't have it anymore. And my friend picked me up. We went to the club, and in my mind, I thought, I'm going to arrive at the club. The doors are going to open, and everybody's going to devour me once a piece. Do you know what I'm saying? I had this fantasy, and then I walked into the club, and I was like, "Oh, another one arrives." Like a non.
Here's another one.
Exactly, a non-event, right? And I never. I think I've had fantasies of a sense of belonging or arriving at like a family or like being part of something.
You were at a parade.
Something like that. Well, and what I discovered was not so pleasant.
Yeah.
The harshness. And by no means am I judging. I know we all come from a place where we kind of, want to defend ourselves, want to keep ourselves really like protected. But what I met was, a lot of judgment and demands, like you have to look like this. Before you speak to me, you have to look like this. No, don't look at me. Oh, what are you about? Oh, look at you. Oh, my, yeah. Not quite. I thought, oh, wait a little bit. I thought we're getting together. Yeah, I thought I'm stepping into like a safe space or just a group of friends or like somebody that does the same thing. And I found something completely different. Now, part of it is also me because at that stage, I, always had my struggle of being different, the way I spoke, the way I, as a child, always kind of being quite creative. And my father not always knowing what to do with that energy, either being too much and I knew very and from a young age, what to do to be in the limelight. So I had a very good voice at that stage and sang. So my mom used to go, "Come on, come. My friends are here. Stand on a chair and sing for us." And it was like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing."
What did you say?
Oh my God. All South African folks.
This do us one.
No. Years ago, darling. And so I then learned a behavior that we all learn as children, like, oh, if I perform,
Oh wow.
I'm seen and, like wanted and admired.
Yeah.
You're kind of waiting for that. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Either that or if I'm too much, then I withdraw.
Mm.
So in that growing up, I never kind of fully um came into myself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's never this validation point where, my dad didn't know what to do with me. So he wasn't like really saying things to go, you're right, doesn't matter, like those words that you're waiting for never came. What did I do then was like, okay, well, I can play rugby. Believe it or not, I've played rugby for very deep. Just to fit in. I was like, oh, I always trying to fit in some other way. And like you grow up and that kind of messaging kind of becomes part of how you start looking at the world.
I think it's really like you just like lit something up in my brain, which when we talk about like, LGBTQI identity and us going
Yep.
through all that sort of thing, yes, it's the sexuality thing, but I think the main thing is that we're not just allowed to just be,
Yeah.
to just let us be. There's so much other baggage. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And I'm a therapist, I work with, I'm body centered psychotherapist. And I always say this, like with, especially if I look at myself, it's like a double whammy. Like as a child, you have all of this stuff growing up and, I love when both my parents passed. I love them. Were they doing things that were amazing? Maybe not. Did I come with a manual to say you do this and that? I didn't. Did they try to teach me things like they were taught? They did.
that is all in you, I guess.
Exactly. Did it work? Maybe not so much.
Thank Gaga for that.
But you see, so I've always looking for this validation piece. So if you say I'm okay, then I'm really okay. So you can imagine walking into a bar. I was like, oh, oh my god, I'm gonna be all of a sudden pulled into a corner and devoured. And I walked into with my friend, very beautiful man, and everybody was like all over him. Oh my god! And I was like, who are you? Like that. And my body was so used to that, of course, you're like, okay, there you go. See, there's another. See, there you go. Another person, another person.
Yeah.
And at that stage, I didn't have the awareness that I have now. That I'm like, oh, that doesn't really matter. What they think and what they say, it's got nothing to do with me. I show up the way that I show up. I do what I do. And either there's the resonance to it or there's not. It's called life. Can you imagine that we all fell in love with one another? How it would be great. But it would be a nice problem to have, but also a difficult one.
It will, but I also I really, really relate because I know what it was, the saying, my whatever story, but going into like gay bars for the first time and
Yeah.
very judgy, a lot of internalized homophobia, a lot of patriarchy, a lot of even I found myself doing that. I would like be going through my wardrobe or buying things to look how I think I was supposed to look to pull boys. Yeah, I'm dressing in the things that I wanted to wear,
Yeah.
and I think it's like, we need to not be so hard on ourselves because it's like we didn't have the chance to learn those tools of knowing who we were earlier because there was so much stacked against us.
But that's what I interrupted myself. I get so emotional about this in a way, really emotive about it. So it's like when I say double whammy, you've got your growing up pains that you go through.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in your life, you then realize, but wait a little bit, is there something else going on? I'm different.
Yeah.
So you got one thing stuck on top of another. I mean, what are the chances?
Yeah.
And so my mom, I never came out. My dad passed when I was in the second year of my uni. So I never kind of really had that conversation piece with him. And my mom always knew. She always knew.
Yeah.
And it's funny enough, I went to see my sister in Cape Town. She said to me, I always say to mom, don't expect for this one to be normal. And I didn't, and my mom didn't understand what she meant. She says, he's going to be different. And I don't think my mom got it quite how different that would be.
Yes.
But it's only later in life, actually, when we met, when we were on the course together,
Yeah.
that I've always wanted to do. I was always wanted to do a drag course. I always wanted to play a little bit in showbiz, that I kind of let myself just be unapologetically worried. I'm not worried about dressing up and all of that. I mean, I had the boss or my boss, the CEO of where I work, come to my show. So, you know, that the show night, it was just so amazing. Even the way that I dress now, I don't really care.
Drag is so good for that.
I know. And my friends, there's my dear friend that I work with, his name is Firefly.
Yeah.
He very fluid. I totally love the man, but he has this way of dressing that's it's quite bohemian, you know, he just taught me how it is to just be free and to wear.
Yeah.
Because previously in my life, I used to dress, but to be seen. There's this validation piece always came in. Not like, okay, I'm just expressing myself. I want to wear what I want to wear because this is how I feel today. There was always this piece that I tried to live up to, you know, like getting somebody's approval.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Do you feel like you have your own approval now?
You know, it comes and goes. Because with that also comes this whole thing about body conscious oh my goodness, yeah. In my 30s, I can tell you something. I wanted to be like as buff as hell.
Right.
It's hard work. You can't keep it. It is always somebody going to be better than you, or in my mind, to you. So it didn't help. So now I'm like, this is it. You know, I go to gym 3 times a week, 6 o'clock in the morning, but I do it for my own house.
Yeah.
So so I'm healthy and of course, if you train, your body will change.
I mean, there's a lot of like pressure, those stereotypes of looking a certain way when we're gay, and being fabulously dressed and the wittiest and having a high flying career and exactly all of that.
And then I also understand that because, you know, if you look at, especially with gay men, what is the one thing that you can do really well that excels you, that people would go, oh, you're so amazing. You're the chief exec or whatever. Oh, and you're gay. Wow, how amazing that is. You know, like oh, wow, you know, like we can't do that kind of thing. So there's that one in the mix. I never chased that. I was always just like, I got really interested in this conversation about what would that be like if you can just accept yourself the way that you are. Now we hear that quite often. You know, there's lots of books and stuff, or books written about it.
Yeah. If you read them,
Of course. The thing is, it's a beautiful invitation, but also kind of scary because what would happen is anybody, you know, if you're listening to and looking at this and, you know, listening to our conversation, for a moment, think what it would be like if all those voices, you know, like as people looking at us, you know, there's judgments, people like, oh, this and that. Or what if you could, for a moment, just have silence, not having those voices, and just look at one another as a human being. Oh, there's a human being there over there doing a thing.
Yeah.
Not, this is pink or green or, you know, I think I'm maybe idealistic, but and all my teachings and the work that I do, and especially around intimacy, is like what it would be like on sitting opposite one another, and you're a human being, and that's the basics of it.
Yeah.
And what do we all want? We want to be loved. We want it to be cared for. We want to feel safe.
We want nice wigs.
We want nice wigs, nice clothes. But there's this moment, there's all you want.
Yeah.
Everything you didn't maybe get when you were younger.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I've had to reparent myself and validate myself, and that's only really come in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's so, I love what you've just said there, because that's so true. So, you know, and all the work and therapy that I've done, whatever has happened with my parents, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's in the past. They are not going to all of a sudden come and give it to me. It's done now. The time is for you to, I love that word, repairing things so much, It's for you to really do that and give it to yourself.
Because that's the only thing we have control over is ourselves. So if I want love, I need to give it to myself, like in the ways that I need, which
Yeah.
you know,
And it's sometimes difficult because we constantly, you can think that, and I think the more and more I work with clients is that the more and more they become aware of the fact that they have a choice.
yeah,
You always have a choice.
yeah,
Whatever happened to you, and I say this and I don't just say it because, it's not easy words, but whatever has happened to you has happened
yeah.
as, and I have absolute compassion for things that could have been absolutely terrible. But if you really want to fully kind of be with who you really are, yeah,
Rush through that.
exactly, it's to acknowledge it. It's never going to go away, but it's like you see it come up from moment to moment, like we sitting here. I feel amazing with you. You are gorgeous and fabulous. But there's a sense of feeling safe and really feeling welcomed by you. So, there's nothing coming up. Like we talk about triggers or being activated by you
Yeah,
because we feel we resonate with one another.
yeah,
But there might be all of a sudden somebody walks into the room. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's this person. Oh, he looks like that school teacher. Oh, I'm sure they're gonna tell us all. It's not what's happening.
yeah,
You have a choice. Just make the person just make the person who it is in this moment
yeah,
and just be yourself. It
yeah.
it sounds, I hear myself saying it and it sounds so easy, but if you're so deeply in that wounding or, using that language, it's not easy.
It's not easy. It requires a lot of work. And especially not even just like the self work and the stuff. It's we live in a world, a culture that
Yeah.
thrives on making us feel like shit about ourselves. I'm talking about capitalism. Like, it's like everything is marketed to make us want to, you know, be look like this, thinking that like, so it's was kind of set up to fail a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It makes it more difficult, and a lot of people are still in the matrix of it. Or I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like members of community, we do that deeper emotional like searching earlier, and it's
Yeah.
already like, well, okay, well that wasn't true, so should I question everything?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
No,
it does happen. It does happen.
but it is.
And and especially in the work that I do, and I work with a lot of groups of gay men,
Mm,
and my work is very informed, tantra informed. Tantra very being a very oldest tradition of um actually exploring that spiritual side
mm,
of was working with sexual energy
mm,
and that being the life force,
yeah.
and what would happen if, and most of the times, it's about what would happen if I can say yes to the full aliveness. And I use the word arousal in the
Mm,
sense of, do you know when you are like really excited, that moment,
yeah.
um, where you feel so amazing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we kind of, oh, there's always a story, oh, don't feel too excited. It's going to stop. Definitely, this is not good, right? It's not good. Um, but instead of just fully being in it,
Mm.
but there's a way that a story tells us, no, no, you have to stop. No, it's not good. You can't be. Oh, no. You know what happened last time?
Yeah. Shame, the circuit that's like
The shame.
around.
Exactly. And when you then go into the world of intimacy,
Mm.
oh boy, that's something else.
Tell me about it.
Because I found that most of the times when you meet somebody, there is an element of being two children together.
Mm.
Do you know that excitement? Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit like two teenagers trying to find their way. Oh, we fall in love and it's so beautiful. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're going to just, we play around a little bit. And then all of a sudden, we kind of project this image. Oh, he's so gorgeous, or she is so gorgeous, or they are so amazing. And oh my God, they beautiful. Oh God, I can't. And then 6 months later, you go, oh,
They didn't meet all the
and no waste your face. And one morning they drink a cup of tea and go, oh, but are they, oh my God, look at how they drink tea.
Mm-hmm.
They've always drank the tea like
Yeah.
that for the last 6 months. You just had complete different lenses on.
Yeah.
They've always been there.
Yeah.
But is this like how are we relating to one another? Because if I go back to humans, adult humans relating to one another, what's really in our way of just connecting without an agenda?
Right.
Because we always go back to, and I am very guilty of that too. When in my younger days,
Yeah.
maybe now too, you meet somebody. Are we going to meet for a cup of tea or coffee, or are we going to rip our clothes off and go wild? But already there's something going on there. There's already, instead of, okay, well, let's meet, let's just hang out, and I think that's what's missing. That's what's missing. That we used to do.
It's almost like a more like the wholesomeness of
Correct.
Yeah.
Isn't there something? I remember going to a gay bar, and you see this guy, and it's like, oh my God, I want to meet him. It's like, oh, the nerves are going up into speaking to him. There's something about meeting somebody in a bar and having a chat, and are we going to do something?
As my man.
Exactly. Where now you swipe, you block. It's like so easy, and you miss out on opportunities. Like you miss out on opportunity of meeting somebody that it doesn't have to go anywhere. Yes, your checklist of what it would look like to be with somebody, if you can throw that checklist away, how would that be to just have a conversation? It's not going anywhere.
Because these checklists and these like apps as well, I feel like it's quite it can make you quite shallow and narcissistic, and it's like I don't know, you're not meeting someone for the human of them, like you said, like you're not connecting with their energy rather than like all these other things. It's
You see, and the thing is, yeah, apps has its purpose. It's how you use it.
mm,
I don't want to villainize it because
No.
I've met some amazing people on apps. It's really how much you kind of put into it as being the ultimate. If somebody blocks you, you go, oh my God, wasn't I? Oh, wasn't I not fit and buff enough? It's like all those questions that come up unnecessarily.
what's your favorite app?
Oh, I've deleted all.
All of that, all the dating one.
Yeah.
What about any other app?
I don't get it.
Just the apps.
No.
I think Spotify would probably be my favorite.
Oh, apps. What? So not dating apps.
Is that any app?
Oh, Spotify, definitely. I love music.
Although I don't like what it stands for and how it's like ruined the music industry. Like no one's getting paid. But it is quite nice, the pods, the music.
And the odd game here and there.
Yeah.
That I like. But as far as dating sites, I kind of got off all of them.
Yeah.
Just for the mere reason that, and it's funny that I've never actually got really so significant about my age. And there's something about when you turn 55 or 56, and then I came out, you would say, oh, my friends would go, oh, I'm going to see this guy and he's like 55. And they would go, oh, he's ancient. What are you, kid? What are you doing? Like that thing. And it's like you kind of fall off somewhere and you're put in a corner as being an age, the story I tell myself. But I've discovered that that's not the truth, Yes, there's the daddy thing, and I will take kind of like it's quite kind of fun, but that conversation comes back to that validation piece again.
Yeah.
It's like connecting with who you really want to be, and it's like, who is it that you really want to meet, and coming back to the work that I do and I work in groups, and teaching men about new ways of connecting with one another. Like stripping it all back. Let's go way back when all of the storytelling wasn't there.
Yeah.
Noticing what happens when you meet somebody, something happens. Acknowledging. We all judge. Yeah. Like just this, we all judge. We are created like that. It's being aware of it and like, well, Do I need to judge right now? No, it's not necessary. You just drop it. This doesn't matter.
Catching yourself reframing those things,
Exactly.
saying everything with intent, and
Yeah, and I mean, like, do I really care? You know, I say this, and it could be that I do care, but do I really care what you think of me? You know, you have an idea of what people should look like, and I would rather want to hear how I make you feel than all your judgments around you should look like this, and I don't care really.
how you make people feel is what
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, we all go through our stuff.
Yeah.
The way that you show up in life is the way that you show up. I don't know if you've heard of the 80-20 rule.
Tell me.
So 80% is over here and 20% is over here. 80% is over here and my stuff and coming from my past towards you. And 20% is over there. Yes, you might do something. You might jump up and down, but that's how you live your life and that's what you do.
Yeah.
I had a choice how I react to that.
Yeah.
And what I want to do with that. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that, you know, we talk boundaries, that people can just do what they want with you. But there's a way of relating with that too. Like, if there's something you do and I don't like that, or I feel, you know, like you've overstepped something with me, I can say that to you and say, hey, look, I don't like that thing you've just did with me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel, is that okay that I say that? And you would receive it. Now, there's two ways. If you kind of listen to it from a place of non-judgment, you go, sorry, and you know, like, I'm sorry I did that. I didn't realize that. Or you can go, oh, you know,
Yeah.
we back into two teenagers fighting about a doll something.
Yeah.
We are not in the here and nowness of being two adults. And yes, sometimes we do hurt. We all do that. We are human. There's always, and this is the most important part for me, always these moments where you can repair.
Yeah.
These moments where you can see, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. And in a way, we're still waiting for our parents to say, I'm sorry that I did that. At that age, you know, we don't have the language to say, hey, you're doing this like shit thing.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that?
Bitch, why do you buy me that Barbie?
Exactly. Yeah, something like that, you know, or you know, not getting what I want. But you never have that opportunity to say, hey, look, what are you dudes doing? Like, what the hell's going on? You know, like, why are you doing this thing? And unfortunately, sometimes that internalized message, and we spoke about it earlier on, gets so deeply entrenched. And that's what my work is all about, is about your body keeps the score.
It really does.
Somatically, inherently, it happens. You know, I'm fantasizing, you know, I know it. When you are with somebody, all of a sudden your body has this reaction. You're like, oh my God, wait, how does that happen? You know? And that's the curiosity point. Instead of making it wrong, where I live from it now, it's like, oh, I'm curious. Like when I'm with you, I'm feeling that. So I wonder where that comes from. Is it like a learned behavior pattern?
No,
Or what's going on?
I think that is the magic of creation. That's how I knew I was gay, because I did not get butterflies with any girls, no matter how gorgeous they were. But boys, you know, it's like a whole like, what's a butterfly aviary called? What do they keep butterflies in?
Oh,
I don't, you know, like a butterfly thing. You've been to the one in London Zoo? It must have a name.
oh no, I don't.
Like a butterfly keep.
A butterfly.
Let's call it. But okay, yeah. I feel like a little.
But just in general, you know, people represent things in your life that you thought that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden things happen. And that happens in intimacy as well. You know, when I have a group of gay men in the room, or gay and bisexual men, or, you know, people from the rest of the community, it's interesting to witness and notice. You know, there's always this thing where the older generation, and I say this because I can see that happening, kind of pushed aside a little bit. Like, you are over there, and if you're maybe of youth or a little bit younger, and you've got a lovely body, and you know, like, you know, this that media puts out there to be sexy, beautiful, six pack here, whatever you call it, buffed up, tight box, and certain parts.
Hate all that.
And certain parts going, kind of,
Yeah.
that's the man, and,
Yeah.
and people want that, and it's interesting that everybody wants to go over there, and then there's people in the midst that
Just head it constantly though, aren't we?
there are people in the midst of it not being even seen, and
Mm.
and there's nothing wrong. It is human. That's what we do, and that's why I love in the group when when in groups when at the end of the group somebody would go, oh, and admits it to say, oh, actually there was somebody in the room that I thought, oh, well, I don't know. I hope we don't get paired up for an exercise. And they get paired up, Universe is interesting. They teach you the lessons that you want needs to learn.
Yeah.
Then get paired up. And he goes, oh my God, I have the best experience.
Right.
It was only 10 minutes, but it rocked my world, It's like when you are able to drop that. And in my journey, my early journey of Tantra, I did like a good 6-7 years of it. And in the very beginning, I will never forget, we had this undressing ritual. There's lots of beautiful rituals in Tantra. And part of this was undressing ritual. And I got to this guy, and at that stage I came from this very, well, I'm like, oh, you need to. I was a little bit still in that world. And I got to this guy and I had to undress him and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. There was a part of me that was judging him to a way that because he didn't look like that, I didn't even want to take his coat.
Do you know what? I just when you were talking about this, I had a thought. I know everyone's over there and everyone's obsessed with this male physique, like perfect thing, or the girl, but like it's not working because nobody is happy. Not the ones in the gyms reaching for something else, not the ones that even look like that. They're, like it's not working for anyone,
Yeah.
is it? And then the ones that like it's like everybody's like messed up from it, from this like idealized version of what we're all supposed to look like.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, it's like even moi. I am aware of this, but I am. I am reaching for a certain kind of like beauty standard. That's what I'm like going for. It's like, do you know what I mean? And in the play box, all that, and it's fun, but that's also why I like the yoga, where I can just take it all off and just be.
But I hear you say that, but there's also something beautiful about what you do. Is for me, I've always seen it as like, when you do very fine art, like makeup.
Yeah.
Sense, you know, you talk a lot about makeup and how I struggle with it. And look at you, like, there's something about creating this. For me, it's like a creation.
Yeah.
And the more you,
Agree.
and it doesn't matter how big or whatever that is, there's something in that creation, whatever you look like. The fact that you're connecting to something that you want is so beautiful.
But I do like it when I look hot. And I do love,
Of course,
when I look
of
pretty.
course, I understand that.
And I'm like, and I know that's shallow, and I am aware, but I do feel more confident when I'm like happy with the work of it, and I've gotten to what I'm reaching for. But at the same time, it's so unhealthy because you're constantly reaching for it, and and the youth of it all, and the this and the that, and the
Well, what I'm hearing is something different. Also, what I'm hearing is that you're also aware of it.
I am aware of it. I am
So,
aware.
so we and this is
Yeah.
this is the tricky bit. I hear you use the word. It's all about languaging for me. It's like I hear you use the word. Oh, but I know that's shallow.
Yeah. Later.
And I go, if there's something, there's a different depth to who you are. That if I know you, which I would see, the last thing I would say about you is that, oh, there's the shallow one,
Yeah.
and I don't want to use that word because it's all again, language is not great to describe things, by the way.
Yeah.
It actually gets us into a lot of trouble.
Because there's so much nuance.
Absolutely. And yeah, you are aware of it. And what, like shallow. What does that really mean?
Guess it's like for me, it's the whole being a professional dancer and being spending all my lives looking in mirrors. You become a little bit self-obsessed with
Yes,
yourself
I understand.
and with the beauty standards of the industry and that comparing thing. The only time I feel like completely released from that, however, is when I'm just creating my own thing and I'm not trying to be in anyone else's lane or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing that feels the most truthful.
Yeah, and it's so true what you say. Also, the work that I do, I sometimes catch myself looking at my peers. Oh my God, they just launched this and that.
We all did it, right?
And my Tantra teacher used to say to me, Just focus on what you do.
Yeah.
Forget about what anybody else is doing. What you're doing is the most important thing."
Yeah.
Again, being human, comparing to this or that, and also like like really desiring and being jealous about it. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, look what that so and so is doing. And it takes a lot of energy.
It's a very, very debilitating. That's only changed for me since I started releasing my music.
Okay.
And then that just shifted the whole narrative of like loving myself more because that was just the I think my purpose, and I'm like honoring my child.
Yeah.
I'm honoring my truth,
Yeah.
whole thing. I've stopped the comparison. I can like look and be like, oh my god, you know, in whatever. Great, good for you. Now back to me. Like, because it's like, well,
I mean, if it
it
works,
doesn't feel good.
it's just if it worked comparing yourself, um, if it really worked and it took you to other places,
Hmm.
then you would be someplace else right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can like learn from other,
Inspired.
buy it. The
That's
jealousy thing, though. Have I ever like jealous?
But isn't there a little bit, I danced in my life, but I never danced professionally. I just liked it and I had friends that competed, but there's something about reaching that level, with dancing
Yeah.
and showbiz. There's this, I don't know, it's like a collective energy piece. Like if you're in showbiz, it's like blah 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 blah. It's like this, like competitive. You have to be thin. You have to look like this. Are you going to be casted for this? Are you coming for this role? You have to look like that.
So bad for your mental health. It's
But it feels like it's like this. If you say showbiz, if you had to say showbiz, and and in the same like sentence talk about what we're talking about, I would say this is what comes up for me when I hear that. I hear creativity and I hear all of that. That's so beautiful now. What I really love seeing on stages, it's like people that represent bigger, like more fuller round. How gorgeous is that?
I hate all parts of showbiz other than when I'm on stage or when I'm creating something myself. The rest of it is like it's a lot. It's a lot. Auditioning for people and someone's like vision of what they want something to be, especially as like someone that doesn't fit like the boxes and that whole thing. I mean, I used to dance rings around some of my peers back in my day, but because I was like 5'8" and slight and camp, I get the jobs, but 6'3", built like a brick shit house and looked like a model and can barely put one foot in front of the other. You book everything. So it does feed into that whole thing. I mean, I do love it though.
Yeah.
Dance class I used to love because I was just there to dance and I could just like lose myself in the music and the art of it. I love the art. I love the art. I don't like all the like the industry of it all. The expectations, the validation.
Fancy that you got yourself a little bit into.
Moving because I'm in too deep. You That's some 40 reference. I mean, look, I am showbiz.
Definitely. No, but I mean,
Yeah, I love it. I love to hate. I hate to love it. but I'm in a much healthier place now that I'm not at the mercy of other people's opinions and needing the validation of casting directors and booking jobs, just creating my becoming an artist. That's the difference. When I became an artist rather than a performer, that's when I start to love myself because I journeyed into myself and my creativity. That's what changed it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I would say you doing you. You know, I look. I first want to say I met you how many years ago, and I'm like, wow, and it's
I
weird.
mean, I took my time, babe. Like, don't share her age, but I don't to think of the age that I learned. But yeah, it's been a bloody journey, darling.
And you know what's beautiful? Also, just going back to intimacy and connection, that you have a beautiful husband that really supports you and I think really loves you for all of this.
I think he prefers the other one. He's not so fond of Glitzy. She gets a bit big for her boots sometimes, but
But yet you are free to be who you want to be, and beautifully supports you.
because I wasn't doing drag when we first met. And then, he was like, "Oh, I always wanted to do it." And then I was like, "Oh, well, I've finally bagged a man now. Then, he's not going anywhere. So maybe I can be like filling myself." So he did like kind of like hold space for that, like feeling comfortable enough to and I mean in lockdown was when I started. He bought me a weatherboard. I did like the Weather Channel. Like, yeah. Have you seen it? I saw clips of it. I need to take that down. That's so bad. You show me the dark rouge dresses. But yeah, he's so supportive. He's so sweet. He said, "Look, it can annoy me slightly now and again, but on the whole, I'm very lucky, very blessed, very grateful, very demure, very mindful, and love him."
Well, that's what I love about relationships when you can, like when you are, you can be your own and you connect and then you live your own life. And it's not like a dependency thing where, you're not looking for the validation all the time. You are who you are.
I still need his validation.
Oh, you do.
I want it. I want him to be obsessed with me. I will start to like I have to like bring everything I'm back. Everything that I've like created I was like, listen to this. What do you think of this? Because he gives me the brutal truth as well, which is great. So he's like the best sounding board for that. And because he's so smart as well. And he like sees things in sense that perhaps I wouldn't like pick up on. When he does really like something or love something or is like proud of me for doing something, kind of, I've done good. Like, "Yeah, thanks, Daddy. Thanks for giving me the approval that my real father never did." No. But trip on. Trauma. But like, no, he's like, yeah, he is fudging incredible. And yeah, it's whatever angels are out there looking after me that brought him to me. I am thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
But that's what for me, like if we talk about that topic and then, like we spoke about lots of things
These
tonight.
nice here.
But intimacy is around that connection with yourself, that deep intimacy with yourself, and knowing that, I don't want to use the word perfect because there is no such thing for me, but that sense of who you are let's use the word enoughness. The enoughness of you is cool, and that's all you need.
I got a tattoo last year to remind myself to be my own best friend rather than my own worst enemy because for so long just giving myself such a hard time, such a perfectionist, so like A-type and high functioning with the ADHD of it all. So I got this little
Oh well,
BFF on my wrist. I don't. I feel like I'm getting better at it. If I say something negative about myself out loud, I try to like say something positive, and I try to catch myself. The only thing that really works for me is yoga. Just calming me down, the breathing, being away from devices and digital things, being like in an authentic space, connecting to like the spirituality of it,
yeah.
connecting to
yoga is so much about humanity, and it brings me back to that. I know it does everybody that the more yoga I do, the better I am.
Well, and there's something around, and yoga is also practice, right? There's something around bringing practice, this meditation, whatever amount of time you have in a day. Um, I fall in and out of my practice, but I must say that when I do meditate, when I do spend time with myself, away from devices, just that awareness of what's going on shifts things,
It does.
It gives you a sometimes my head is really busy. Sometimes, not that meditation is about calming everything down, but it's just awareness of what's going on in this moment in your head and just nothing to push away or to change or to fix, it's just to be aware and to make a choice.
Without being without self-soothing with anything,
No,
with like food or drink or TV or
no.
phones or porn or shopping or being stimulated as well by everything. Like in a city, we're so overstimulated. Yeah, there's just something so beautiful about just being on your own with yourself
And silence.
in silence. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just sitting with with it. I think it's really, really important.
Yeah. I think practice and having a practice is important. I say that, but I'm, naughty falling in and out of it.
That's okay. We don't judge ourselves.
True. Great. Well, there I am saying that, and I just cause myself doing that.
Yeah, but yeah, but that's the spiritual judgment of it all, isn't it? And it is that like, I sometimes like the dichotomy of sometimes I feel like I'm between Gwyneth Paltrow and Courtney Love, and I guess probably what I am is like Drew Barrymore. But you know what I mean? It's like like doing this and like opening up and like sharing things. It sometimes makes me like a little bit uncomfortable because I'm like, how much of myself am I like, because at my naughtiest, I have been naughty, and at my goodest, I'm very, very wonderful. But but all of us are.
But you're talking about the topic now that kind of people see as something that you shouldn't show, and it's called vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
There must so much power. Sometimes people, oh, no, I can't be too vulnerable with you.
Shall I be vulnerable right now?
Yeah, well,
That's the thing I'm thinking about.
what's that?
Sorry, mum. But hold on, I can see it here, and I'm gasping for it. Yes, I teach yoga, and I also vape.
Okay. You see? So,
And the world didn't burn down. But the thing is, it's like because I love teaching yoga. Look, this isn't great for my stamina. Um, I didn't even smoke before, but someone gave me one at a party, and it's like you give one of these to everyone I know with ADHD is so addicted to these damn things because it's stimming. It's something to do, and I've got this great one. It looks fun. It lights up. It's disco. I actually really enjoy it. And I like a little bit of naughtiness because I don't bloody drink. Like, I don't eat meat. Like, I'm doing yoga like 10 times a week, teaching. Like, I need a little bit of naughtiness other than saying, like, I don't know, flirting with a straight boy at some corporate event. Like, do you know what I mean? Whilst singing Cher. It's like, you know, I think I need more naughtiness, maybe. I don't know. But, like, I don't know. Do you feel like we need a bit of naughtiness? A bit of, like but I don't know if it's just the rebel in me as well.
but we call it naughty. What does that really mean for me? It's like, it's like out of, as I would say, some experimentation and letting go of all the norms around what should and what is good and not good. It is everybody tells us every day what we should and shouldn't be doing.
Mm.
Should eat, you shouldn't drink milk. You should do this. You should do that. There's a lot, right? I would like to make that choice myself, and like it's like in this world of unconscious sexuality, like there were things that I've in my last years experimented with. Like if you would have told me that I would be in a group of gay men naked, I would have told you that would never happen.
Oh, I can make that happen.
I can make that happen.
I can set that
We, but just that thought, I might feel the palpitation in my heart because there was this story that whoever was going to be presented when I don't have my clothes on, it's just not enough because I don't look like this, and it was so liberating when I first taught my first class, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm standing naked, I'm leading the group, and I'm naked, and nobody's run away. I don't know what people are thinking. I couldn't really care, but anyway, maybe. So liberating.
Have I ever told you
So liberating.
Have I ever told you about the naked human car wash?
No.
So I was at Burning Man, and it's like a nightmare to get a shower there. You're covered in dust. You've got this like hideously light shower in your RV. First of all, problems, but it's you're filthy, you're sweaty, you're dirty, all the things. So there's this like secret naked human car wash that you have to like find and like ask people where it is. It was about 100 people, all ages, races, creeds, sexualities, everything, shapes, everything, different hair colors, eye colors, I don't know, all the stuff, all the humans in the car wash. So you have to become the car wash. So there's like different steps of the car wash. So everyone takes off all of their clothes and you go with a few friends. So first you're like, oh my God, this is like, we're going to see each other. Immediately, once it's off, it just becomes like the most normal thing in the world. And this is the most intimate, this is like probably the most intimate, other than like wedding night, like connection I've ever had actually. And it was non-sexual, but so you start at the end of the car wash and there's like 4 people on each station and people are drying you off. And then the one before that is like the rinsing, people are rinsing you off. And then there's like a sudding and people like soaping you up. And then there's, people like, but you get it. And at the start, people go, they say, oh, is there anywhere you don't want to be touched? And people are like, oh, I consent to anywhere. Well, not my face. I just did a full beat or whatever. And you go through it. But do you remember like being like washed as a baby or like as a kid? It's so nice. And like to be washed like in every station by lots of different humans and everyone's laughing. That was, I've got to say, that's probably the most intimate, magical moment I've ever had.
But that's what touch do. That's what touch will do for you. I mean, as a lot of work I do, I work for a charity that works with older people over the age of 50. And a lot of older people never get touched. And there's lots of studies done. If people don't get touched, something happens in your
Yeah.
something happens in your entire body. So even in these groups, like we teach touch, different ways of touch. I would have loved to be, as a child, learned have had a class around touch.
Yeah.
Also, a class around consensual touch. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's like I had family. I don't know if you had family members. They always used to come over and they want to kiss you. It's like, oh, like that. What you do with children, and I would have wanted to say no, but as children, your cheeks are grabbed, and you're like, oh God, here he comes again. And I see, how doing one-to-one with men, and I do some massage work as well. I always ask, how do you like to be touched? And they go, what do you mean? And like, how do you like to be touched? Do you like to be, is it hard, soft, or what parts of your body? And they go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And for, because I've done Tantra and it's a whole exploration of your body and be in connection with your senses and reconnecting to your own pleasure. That you are not going to give me the pleasure. Your touch is going to make me excited, but my pleasure is not reliant on you. And I would have loved to have been taught that. I think they start doing it now around.
They have.
They started to do that, teaching children about how do you, how do you touch your boyfriend?
They should teach adults as well because,
oh yeah,
I mean, like one of my like pet peeves is people touching me without consent. Like just because I'm performing, I'm on stage. I've had all parts of my body grabbed by drunk people, like just even like people coming up behind me and grabbing me, putting their arm around me, unless I've like had like a conversation with like that's we started that like
Important piece.
don't touch
Yeah.
me. There's yeah, I saw a necklace by a friend of mine that said "Don't fucking touch me," and I was like, I need to get that because yeah, I don't know. There's a neurodiverse person if it's that and like highly sensitive, but I love touch, but it has to be like consensual. Otherwise, I'm like literally like I'm like get off me. I'm like I can't bear it. Yeah.
and it's it's there's so something so magical about being connection with your pleasure and sharing that with somebody else. So these in tantra, that connection piece of being aroused with somebody else, being connection with your sexual energy, and it doesn't need to go anywhere. Just sharing that energetic moment is absolute bliss.
Because it's like you can just you like it's almost like Reiki or
Yeah.
but yeah.
Because we are very good at when get naked we get busy, but there's this, and that's why when I'm a single man now, so when I do go out and meet people, I love sensuality. For me is like the key piece and everything. And don't get me wrong, there are moments when you rip one another's clothes off and you get really busy. There's something kind of not so intimate about it, but it's still intimate.
Yeah.
But that moment when you're like, just sitting opposite one another, looking, and that touch on you, oh my God, there's something around that level of connection is where the spiritual piece comes in. It's there's this moment when you don't even see the other person as like they're still a human, but there's no of the storyline that's going on. It's like, oh my God, exactly. It's like there's like a merging that happens that is so beautiful, and I like that kind of play.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to explore more of that. I'm going to explore more of that.
And that's, I don't know if it all of a sudden is a lot, well, at least for me, all of a sudden, I'm seeing a lot of the world of BDSM and some role play. 'Cause I haven't seen the movie yet, but Baby Girl is around.
With Nicole Kidman.
To not Kidman in, and
Yeah.
there's something about that. I didn't even
The
think
investment.
I didn't really fit into it until I started doing role play. There's something about it. I've been tied up. I've been whipped. I've done all of that.
Yeah.
And my world was like, if you would have asked me that way back, I would say, oh my goodness, what is that? Yeah. Why would you want to do that? Until you do it, there is something quite amazing. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey. If you can unhook from that, oh, this is my dad too. Oh no, this is, do you know what I'm saying? There's such
If you have like an awareness of the whole thing and you can
because you choose yourself 1st. You're not choosing the other person doing something. I want to experience this for myself. No, I'm not doing it for you, by the way. Yeah, thank you for holding the space and thank you for guiding me. There's something around really, and it comes back to this whole idea of being in connection with yourself, your own pleasure, your own free will of what you want to do, the choices that you make. It sounds idyllic. And there are moments that I'm in that, when I choose something, I choose it really powerfully. Something about doing that kind of is magical for me. And, and definitely in my spiritual life, there's something around that calmness of choice, where it's not driven by anything but your own intuition and feeling. And that intuition is not a voice that makes you wrong. It's a true, it's like, I can't even describe it, a connection to divine, the union. I don't know, whatever you want to call that. There's something there around making a powerful choice and intentionality from that place that I really like.
It's beautiful. Do you know what I like? When they like pull my hair and call me a fairy and tell me I'm not talented. That always gets me there, Johnny.
Well, these are
They would not dare, thanks. I mean, I would like to meet the balls of a man that would dare to do that to me in the bedroom. No, I'm being facetious. No, I think it's I'm trying to like the I'm trying to think of like the most intimate moments I've had. Obviously, like the ones with my husband. My favorite moments actually with my hubby are just us like cuddling and like,
Yeah.
just us snuggling up and that whole thing and our little like language and all those cutesy
What's the difference between a cuddle and a snuggle?
a cuddle and a stuff. Oh, a snuggle. I'm like all up in his business.
Okay.
I'm like, right in there. Like a cuddle's like and like, a snuggle, like he's not getting away. I am in the nut. I am like thing over, like leg over. Like I am definitely a lot more needier than he is in that way. But he kissed me, so it's all good. But I love cuddles though. I I was in India and somebody taught me that you should get 10 cuddles a day, and you have to have them for longer than 60 seconds or more to like flood all the get all the like oxytocins and the
Yes,
whole
yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
And they said that if you got that from 10 different people, that you'd never have any depression or anxiety because it would naturally heal.
I can totally buy into that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I tried to get it going when I used to live in a house share. There was like 6 of us. There's one like grumpy, like straight boy who was like not into it. But the rest of them we were like try and do it. It's good. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Isn't that cool? Like we can just heal each other from like the power of just touching one another, holding one another with love. So with yoga, it's you can be your own masseuse, your own chiropractor. It's pretty cool. Like the human body is so magical. Like I don't know, biology.
Well, the
Like
thing is, it's like, um, just imagine when you, for a moment, imagine when you came into this world, depending how you came into this world, but even before that,
flex.
of course. But imagine that there was a time either before you got, before you arrived here, there was a time where there was just these moments of bliss.
Mm.
And, as we get born, as we come into another mod, depending on what model you find, you choose your parents, you get born into them, and you learn these lessons, you start forgetting that. But it's never forgotten. It's always part of you. It's like reminding ourselves. And it's beautiful when you can find somebody else to help you remind yourself of what you really are, what you're really all about.
I've got a question for you, Armand.
Yeah.
Do you think the world needs more wholesome bliss?
Oh my God. I think all these, when I did Tantra, we all said the whole world needs some Tantra.
Mm.
If people can let all of these, like protection and like, you know, biggest guns and nuclear bombs, it's just all storytelling. If we can come away from with that and really and strip it all back and come to this piece that you were talking about, then I think life would change quite dramatically.
Yeah.
But we asking, we can always put it out there. Will it happen in this lifetime? Who knows? But we have to look at the world and certain parts of the world to know how crazy things can get. Yeah.
But as we touched on earlier, all we can control is what we do ourselves.
Correct.
And you are holding space for wholesome bliss,
Yeah.
for touch, for connect, for that sort of healing.
Yeah. And that's what like we we are just about
Men's connection.
Yeah, men's connection. Yeah. We starting a group, and do you know what? I got really being back on the dating scene, got really inspired by the fact that lots of men out there don't know how to date, like even using your app. How do you set your app up? What do you put in your profile? How do you connect? How do you go out and have a date? What do you wear? What do we say to one another? What, like these, I got really like inspired by it. And there's a lot of men that I come around that or meet that don't know.
I think in some ways a lot of people are losing even the art of conversation.
Yeah.
Understanding.
How do we bring that back? And how can I really go and explore those parts of me that's in the past? That am I able to let those pieces go? Because that frees you up to be able to go into connection and conversation. Because otherwise, that kind of always holds you back. So I got really interested in what it would be like to take a man through this journey where we all together, we all go through it together. You go on a date, you come back, you tell me how it was. What can you next time tweak a little bit? Is it, like the place that you met? Like it sounds silly, but I went on a few dates and I felt so clumsy. I was like, oh my God. I took a guy on the date. It was like, oh God, where am I? What am I doing? Oh, this is, was this the right place? Oh my God, it wasn't. And then beat him, oh, this was really bad. It was just really a bad choice of rest. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, what do you want about? But just a little bit of awareness, and also to strip it back to this group of gay men to come together and meet again like we used to. That human connection piece, like discovering people that think the same like you like we all do, and then see what comes from that. I get excited about that.
If you were going to give advice or tell our viewers, our listeners, where to find these intimate spaces, if people were looking to integrate more of that connection, more of that intimate work.
I would say, in like this lovely tantra groups that you can do it with. This, if you Google, there's lots of cuddle parties. There's cuddle workshops. There's a lot of connection group, massage groups, all of those groups. I mean, obviously, you kind of have some discernment of who you go to and then checking it out and see if it's safe. Because some of these groups are really about playing around with conscious sexuality and conscious safe sex places, like, I think if we go back to that and we open and conscious about it, I think there's a lot of exploration to do. So if you Google a little bit of that, there's many, many, many different groups that you can explore. And it's really like a little taster to go around and see what works for you, and you'll find it.
Yeah.
I mean, yoga is one of them.
Yeah.
5 rhythms dancing.
It's going to say ecstatic dance.
Ecstatic dancing.
I love
I'm talking about like connection pieces like massage, but then also there's this whole world of dance and connection, and there's so many things that you can do.
My favorite place on the dance floor ever has always been at like Morning Gloryville, which is like a soiree.
Oh, I've heard of them.
They're amazing because everyone's just there to be joyful and play and dance, and everyone's very conscious and respectful, and it was like everyone was like kids again.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you,
Darling. What a fabulous chat. I'm ready to get into it, baby.
thank you for being here. So welcome.
I'm going to put all of your socials and everything in the things below. Is there anything you would like to leave on? Any last words?
I love the RuPaul. What does RuPaul always say? The end of the show.
If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Exactly.
Get an Armand. Thank you, Armand. Be kind to yourself and each other. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Mwah.